dynamic nature or speeding up the dynamic nature of skin cells means more moisture factors. It means more peptides. It means more hyaluronic acid. Hyaluronic acid is made in skin cells. By stimulating those skin cells, by increasing the dynamic nature of the skin cells, you get more hyaluronic acid, your own natural hyaluronic acid. This is what we should be looking for. You also get more moisture factors and more growth hormones and more healing molecules. And you know what else? Your skin cells make their own sunscreen. Tell that to your next boneheaded doctor or dermatologist who tells you to slather on a sunscreen. Say, Doc, did you know that my keratinocytes, that's the fancy way of saying skin cells, make their own sunscreens and sun protection factors? Shouldn't I be figuring out how to stimulate my cells to make their own sun protection factors? Shouldn't I be doing that, doctor? Oh, well, by the way, doctor, isn't it true that the wax and the oil and the sunscreen ingredients and all the stuff I'm smearing on my skin and my SPF 60, isn't it true they're suppressing my own natural sun protection, doctor? Do I really want to do that, doctor? Ask your doc the next time if he understands that your skin cells make their own sun protection factors. Ask him if he understands that the way to protect ourselves from the sun is to stimulate our own natural health. And what's one of the best ways to stimulate your skin cells' own production of sunscreen, sun protection factors? Exercise your skin cells. Exercising, stimulating, improving the movement of the dynamic nature, the growth of skin cells and their chemical products like hyaluronic acid is technically called upregulation. And there's a couple of wonderful, wonderful skin exercise strategies that you can use to upregulate the good stuff. Probably the most important way to exercise the skin, to upregulate all the good stuff, like moisture factors, anti-wrinkle fibers like collagen and hyaluronic acid, is to leverage something called exfoliation. Now, most people, women at least, have heard of exfoliation. It basically means to remove skin cells off of the surface. The movement of cells from the bottom of the skin to the top of the skin is called turnover time, or turnover, and the time it takes is called turnover time. As a cell is moving upwards from the bottom to the top, it's gradually changing shape. You got to picture your skin as layers. You know, we look at the skin, we see the surface layer, but there's multiple layers underneath, and cells are growing upwards towards the top. And as they're growing upwards towards the top, they're secreting health chemicals, growth hormones, and hyaluronic acid. And the faster these cells move upwards from the bottom to the top, the more hyaluronic acid and moisture factors and sun protection factors and vitamins and all the other nutrients and wonderful, beautiful health-providing substances that they make are going to be secreted. That means we want to be stimulating the movement. That's called exfoliation. Exfoliation is technically to remove skin cells, but as we remove skin cells, we stimulate the movement of cells upwards. That's why I call it like exercising. It turns things on, just like exercise turns on the growth of muscle cells. Exfoliating or exercising the skin turns on the growth and the movement of skin cells. And it's so critically important to understand if we're going to keep our skin healthy. There's lots of ways to exfoliate. There's chemical exfoliation, there's mechanical exfoliation. You can use a laser to exfoliate, or doctors use lasers to exfoliate. But the best way, the all-time greatest way to exfoliate is by applying something on the skin. We'll tell you about it when we come back from our... We're back on the bright side. I am Pharmacist Ben. If you're enjoying our conversations on skin health, you might want to check out my Facebook page, my Facebook blog, The Truth with Ben. I blog regularly on various subjects about skincare. We're talking a lot about the sun, given that it's summertime. And you can just head over and like my Facebook page, I guess. You say like my Facebook page. It sounds kind of weird, but... click the like button at The Truth with Ben. And that's my skincare Facebook page. You can also check out my blogs, pharmacistben.com, brightsideben.com, and my new blog that I'm doing with George Norrie, criticalhealthnews.com. You can also purchase longevity products right off the website, and you can sign up to join the Brightside Ben team. Help me in my mission to educate the world about how important a good nutritional supplement program can be. You can sign up right off the websites, or you can call The Brightside Ben phone team at 866-735-2470, 866-735-2470. All right, hang tight. We'll get your calls here in just a moment. I want to say a couple more quickie things here. If you want to upregulate or stimulate or improve high hyaluronic acid functioning and production of high hyaluronic acid, you may want to consider using the Fucoid Z or the Fucoidin products, the Fucoid Z or the Z Radical products from Longevity. Algae, brown algae, do make high hyaluronic acid and high hyaluronic acid-like substances. So by eating your Fucoid Z, by using your Fucoid Z or your Z Radical, you can support high hyaluronic acid health. Also, when it comes to exercising the skin, stimulating the skin to produce its own high hyaluronic acid, you want to think about exfoliation. You want to think about skin exercise. And one of the all-time great ways to stimulate the skin and upregulate the production, not just of high hyaluronic acid, but of moisture factors and of antimicrobial peptides and sun protection factors and all the good stuff, is to use alpha hydroxy acids, especially glycolic acid. Love, love, love glycolic acid. Reading from the American Society for Dermatologic Surgery. This is an article, a classic article actually, it was published in 2001. Glycolic acid treatment increases type 1 collagen, that's your anti-wrinkle fiber, and high hyaluronic acid content of human skin. This is a paper that was published, a classic paper actually published 15 years ago, but there's lots of good papers and articles that talk about upregulating all the good stuff in the skin using exfoliation techniques. We're going to talk about that tomorrow, how you can use alpha hydroxy acids, which are naturally occurring so-called fruit acids. They're found everywhere in nature. We'll talk about how you can use those to upregulate HA, and we'll continue talking about some of the really cool benefits of high hyaluronic acid. If you're dealing with osteoporosis, by the way, high hyaluronic acid supplements can be a great way to upregulate the strength of bone, to increase the strength of bone. High hyaluronic acid is a bone health supplement. This is from the Journal of Agricultural Food Chemistry, January of 2013. Oral administration of HA reduces bone turnover. Quote, results show that oral supplements of high hyaluronic acid significantly reduce bone turnover associated with osteopenia, which is a weakness of the bones. Anyway, we'll continue talking about alpha hydroxy acids and hyaluronic acid and skin health tomorrow and in the coming days on the bright side. Okay, time to hit our phones. 844-236-6010 is our number. Let us go to Dwayne in Texas. What's up, Dwayne? Welcome to the bright side, my friend.
Thanks for taking my call.
What's going on, brother?
Well, I got a daughter. She's 33. She's 120 pounds. She's pregnant with her third baby, and they're telling her she's got a hyperthyroid.
Okay.
And they want to give her
let
some
them.
nasty drugs.
Do they want to? What do they want to do? Drug her? Take out her thyroid? What are they going to?
No, they just want to give her some drugs. First,
yeah, they give.
And,
go ahead.
And yeah, that's it. And I just don't want her to take the drug.
I don't blame you, especially when she's pregnant. What kind of medical professional would give somebody a poison, which is what a drug is, when they're making a baby? So now the baby gets drugged too. Great, congratulations,
Exactly.
brilliant medical model here. Hyperthyroidism is plain and simple an autoimmune issue, mostly anyway. An autoimmune issue. It's called Graves' disease. Did they mention that to you? Graves' disease?
Yes,
okay.
That's it.
Okay, that's it. Hyperthyroidism, Graves' disease, these are all autoimmune problems. In other words, they're immune problems. We can call them autoimmune, meaning the immune system is turning on itself. In the case of hyperthyroidism, it's turning on the thyroid, but the point is it's immunity. The one word that you want to think about when you hear the word immunity is defense. And in the interests of taking care of the problem, the one word you want to think of when you think of defense is offense. What is offending the body? So you got hyperthyroidism, that means immunity. You got immunity, that means defense. And if you want to take care of a defensive reaction, you got to figure out what's offending the body. Does that make sense so far?
Sure.
Okay, so when we say offending the body, we mean offending the blood. This is what we're really talking about. We're not talking about offending the tissue, we're talking about offending the blood. Immune responses are always blood responses. Something is getting into the blood. Now, the blood is kept protected. It's a compartment, and it's kept protected from everything. It needs to be pristine. It needs to be pure. The blood is the life. That's what it tells us in Leviticus. It tells us this in Genesis. The blood is the life of the body. So the body keeps the blood pure and clean. There's only 3 ways things get into the blood to initiate an immune response. The first way is through the skin. Now, this can happen if you have a burn or if you're an IV drug user. Has she had a burn or is she an IV drug user, Dwayne?
No, it's
Okay.
got to be diet or
okay.
cigarettes.
You see me working here. You see me working,
Oh, yeah.
okay? Okay, you probably listened to the program before because we say this
I
all
do.
the time, right? So you either breathe things into the blood, you either inject things into the blood, or you eat things into the blood. If you're not injecting things or you don't have a burn and you're not working in a nuclear power plant or a coal mine, you're probably not breathing your offending agents. You're probably eating them. Dwayne, she has an eating issue. And you can tell she has an eating issue by her digestive problems. If she's hyperthyroid, guaranteed she's got some diarrhea or loose stools. So what you want to do is you want to start doing a food diary, and this is a must. She's doing this for 2 people now, Dwayne, not just for herself. It's bad enough if you're doing it for yourself. It's important enough if you're doing it for yourself. But now she's got an innocent life form that's developing inside of her that is going to be punished by her bad decisions. That means it's critical for both her and her baby that she does a food diary and starts to link her digestive systems to food and then eliminate those foods. Next thing you're going to want to do is start to support the digestive system, support digestive health. So food elimination is always the first thing. The next thing is support the digestive system, the health of the digestive system. And that means, number 1, the Biolumin Nightly Essence, not an option. Must have. 3 in the morning, 3 at night. Ultimate enzymes after all her meals, or with all her meals, and then apple cider vinegar. And then she may want to throw in some of the Z-radical or the Fuchs Z is a little bit better for the digestive system. The glucogel, too, by the way, can help support digestive system health. And slowing the body or calming the body down is also going to be important. Food elimination will help in that regard, but also keeping her intake of fast-burning sugars down is also going to be critical. That means bread and pasta and sweets and desserts. After she eats those kinds of foods, she wants to drink copious, generous amounts of water to dilute her blood sugar, and then also use the sweeties, the chromium vanadium, in addition to the Healthy Start Pack, which will also help her stabilize her sugar. And then last but most certainly not least, deep breathing oxygenation is critical. Now, I heard you say something about cigarette smoking. I'm not going to go into that. You know, obviously, and she probably knows as well, that isn't helping her or her baby at all. And for a doctor to poison her body, to poison this child's body, your kid's body, without working on the aspect of cigarette smokes, it's crazy. And on top of now, she's got to deal with tobacco and nicotine and all the other stuff that's in cigarettes. Now she's got to deal with a drug. So one of the reasons why we smoke is because we're trying to get oxygen. We're trying to breathe. Of course, it's counterproductive because you end up breathing toxins, but slow, deep breathing can go a long way towards helping her wean herself off of her cigarettes and also slowing her thyroid down. Hang on, Dwayne. Don't go away. We'll finish up when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. We'll be back right after this. Okay, we are back on the bright side. We're talking to Dwayne about his daughter. Congratulations, by the way, Dwayne. You're a grandpa, huh? 3 times? Is this your 3rd time?
3 times, pretty soon.
Congratulations. Yeah. That's awesome. You sound like a young guy, though. That's awesome. Let's take care of your daughter, though. Hyperthyroidism. If you go to the doctor, they're going to drug your thyroid. They give you what's called anti-thyroid medicine. What does that mean, anti-thyroid medicine? It means you're poisoning your thyroid. The Tapazole or PTU, at least they're not going to radiate it. That's another medical strategy, is to shoot radiation at the thyroid or to yank it out entirely. And I'm telling you, nothing breaks my heart more than to see somebody without a thyroid because they were hyperthyroid and their medical professional couldn't figure it out. So here's what you do. You calm the body down. Something's offending the body. The defenses are up. The body's freaked out. Now, pregnancy will freak the body out anyway, and pregnancy is a serious burden on the body. So she's already loading up her body, and now it's her 3rd pregnancy, so she's got to calm the body down. It's a calming, the solution is a calming solution. The food strategies are going to calm the body down. The blood sugar strategies are going to calm the body down. And perhaps the most important way to calm the body down is to breathe, practice slow, deep breathing. Now, she's smoking cigarettes, and that ironically is going to, even though she's probably, a lot of times we smoke because we're trying to activate our breathing mechanisms, ironically what that ends up doing is shutting down or suppressing oxygenation of cells, making matters worse. It could very well be, Dwayne, that the smoking is causing the hyperthyroidism. I'm not saying that for sure, but it's certainly involved in some level. So practicing her slow, deep breathing is extremely important. If she's trying to get off of cigarettes and can't, have her start using some B vitamins, especially niacin. That can be helpful. Niacin is chemically similar to nicotine, and sometimes people can use niacin or nicotinic acid or niacinamide to help wean themselves off of cigarettes. Also, if you want to use some calming nutritional supplements, GABA, G-A-B-A, maybe 1,000 milligrams at bedtime. Lithium orotate can have a calming effect on the body. Maybe 5 to 10 milligrams of elemental lithium in lithium orotate. And then also, do that at bedtime. Also, 5-HTP can also have a calming effect. And tryptophan also has a calming effect on the body.